Hi friends, Ali here. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make the Country Cottage Headband. This headband is super quick and easy to make. If you can double crochet, then you can make this headband. And even if you can't double crochet, I'm going to show you how so you can still hopefully make this. I'll be making the yellow child size headband for this tutorial, but you can follow along no matter what size you're making. We're going to be working in the round to create a long narrow tube, then at the end we'll attach the ends together to create the twist. You can easily adjust the size of the headband to be perfect for you. To adjust the length or circumference of the headband, work as many rounds as necessary to reach your desired length, and to adjust the width or height of your headband, you can work any even number of stitches around. If you enjoy this pattern and want more like it, check out my other country cottage patterns like the country cottage stocking and the country cottage pumpkins. I also have a few more patterns coming soon for this collection, so be sure to keep an eye out for those tutorials. And here is our size chart. So you're going to want to find the size that you're going to be making, and then go over to the stitches and rows, and you need to remember the number that your size says. So I like to make my headbands about 2 inches smaller than the head circumference. If you want to make yours larger or smaller, you can work as many rows or rounds that you need to get the size that you want. For the stitches, that's going to be the height of our headband. So I made all the baby sizes and the toddler size 3 inches, and then the child, teen, and adult sizes 4 inches. If you want to adjust that at all, you're just going to need to work an even number of stitches around. For supplies, you'll need medium 4-weight yarn, a 5.5 millimeter or eye hook, scissors, and a yarn needle. We're going to begin by making our foundation chain, so I'm going to start by making a slip knot. And then you're going to want to chain as many stitches that your size calls for. So to make a chain, yarn over and pull through the loop on your hook. That'll make 1 chain, and then you want to make your chain as many stitches that your size calls for. When you're done your foundation chain, we are going to slip stitch into the first chain to create a loop. This is the way I like to do it to ensure that I don't twist my chain. I'm going to remove my hook and insert it into the first chain that I created. And then I'm going to put that last loop back on my hook and pull it through to create the slip stitch. And now I have created a loop with my chain and it's not twisted. So I'm going to chain 2 to start my next round. Now that chain 2 that we're going to work at the beginning of each round does not count as a stitch. So we're going to work our first stitch into that same chain that we're currently in. So we're going to double crochet into that first chain. So yarn over and insert your hook into the same chain that we are currently in. Pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. There we created our first double crochet, and now we're just going to double crochet in each chain around. So again, to double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So for round 1, we are just going to work 1 double crochet into each chain around. So I'm just coming up to the end of round 1, and you want to make sure that your stitch count is the same as the number of chains you worked at the beginning. When you reach the end, we're going to join with a slip stitch to the top of the first double crochet that we worked. So right into the top of that first stitch, slip stitch, and then we're going to chain 2. And now on to round 2, we are going to work a double crochet into that first stitch. So into that same stitch that we joined to, we are going to work a double crochet. And then in the next stitch, we're going to work a front post double crochet. So we're going to double crochet around the post of the next stitch instead of at the top. So yarn over and insert your hook from front around the back and to the front again around the post of the stitch. pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. So there is a front post double crochet. And now for the rest of the round, we're just going to repeat working a double crochet into the next stitch and then a front post double crochet into the next. So to front post double crochet again, you're going to yarn over and working around the back of that post, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And there you can see that texture starting to form. So for the rest of round 2, we're just going to repeat working a double crochet into the next stitch and then a front post double crochet into the next stitch. I'm just coming up to the end of round 2, and your stitch count should still remain the same and will continue to remain the same for the rest of the pattern. When you reach the end, you should have ended on a front post double crochet, and now we're going to join to the first double crochet that we worked and then chain 2. So there we have round 2 done. And now on to round 3, we are going to front post double crochet now into the first stitch. So around that first double crochet of the previous round, we're going to front post double crochet, and then we're going to double crochet into the next stitch. So we are going to work our front post double crochets into the double crochet from the previous round, and then we're going to double crochet into the front post double crochets from the previous round. So we're just going to repeat that for the rest of round 3, front post double crochet into the next stitch and then double crochet into the next stitch. I'm just coming up to the end of round 3, and your last stitch of the round should be a double crochet. And when you reach the end, you're going to join to the top of the first stitch with a slip stitch and then chain 2. And this is what we're looking like at the end of round 3. And now we're just going to repeat rounds 2 and 3 all the way up until you reach the number of rounds your size calls for, or until you reach the length that you want. So I'm just going to continue on repeating rounds 2 and 3. So for round 2, we're going to start with a double crochet into the first stitch, and then a front post double crochet into the next stitch. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. And then for the next round, we're going to start with a front post double crochet in the first stitch and then work a double crochet in the next stitch. So you always just want to remember you're going to be working your front post double crochets into the double crochet from the previous round, and then your double crochets into the front post double crochets from the previous round. So we're just going to continue on repeating rounds 2 and 3 until you reach the number of rounds your size calls for. So I'm just coming up to the end of my last round. So I'm going to join to the top of the first stitch. And this is what mine's looking like. So once you reach your desired length, we're going to tie off our yarn. So I'm just going to chain 1 here and then cut off my yarn. And you want to leave a long tail end because we're going to use it to make the twist of our headband. So I'm going to cut mine about 12 inches long. And then I'm going to grab my yarn needle, and we're going to sew the 2 short ends together. So you can see there is a seam there from where we were joining. I'm going to make sure that that is facing the outside for when I'm seaming up my headband, because we're going to flip the headband inside out after. So I want that seam to be on the outside so that when I flip it right side out, the seam is going to be hidden on the inside. So any tail ends you have, you can weave them in now. I just have the one on the opposite end, so I'm just going to hide it on the inside. Nobody's going to see it. And then you just want to line up your headband so that the seam is going to be on the outside. And then you're going to grab the two short ends of your headband and you're going to pinch them together so that they make a C and a backward C, and then we're going to interlock them. So this is how we're going to make the twist on our headband. You just want to interlock the two ends together, and then we're going to sew through them. So take your time to line them up. You want to make sure that you're able to sew through each of the layers. And then when you're ready, you can thread your yarn needle. And just line those up the best you can. And then we're going to be working through all the layers. So I like to squeeze them nice and tight to try and keep the layers in place because you really don't want to miss any of the layers. So just make sure that they're all visible. And then once you're ready, you're going to whip stitch across. So I'm going to start at the top and work down. You can work at the bottom and work up, it doesn't matter. Just catching that first layer and then working all the way through. Right there, I miss one of those layers. I should have caught that layer right beside in the middle, and I didn't. So make sure that you're working through all of the layers, every pass through you go through, and we're just grabbing the tops of the stitches of each layer, and then we're just going to whip stitch all the way across. So starting at the top and working down, working through all the layers. And then once you reach the end, pull through and then start back at the top again, working all the way across. So we're just going to repeat that all the way across. Make sure you work through all the layers and are just grabbing the tops of all the stitches. When you reach the end, we are just going to secure our yarn with a few knots. And then you can weave in your tail end. And when you're all done weaving in your end, you can snip your yarn and then flip your headband so it is right side out. And there you can see the twist that we made. You might need to maneuver it around a little bit. And there you go. Here is our Country Cottage headband. Thank you so much for following along. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. You can find this pattern and many more free patterns on my blog, as well as the ad-free, easy-to-print PDF versions in my Etsy shop and on Ravelry. I'll leave links to all those down below. And I'd also love to see your finished turtle trunk creations, so be sure to tag me in your photos on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.